My name is Elwood, and I'm going to take you on my battlefield tour, The Americans in the Bulge. Apart from the setback in Holland during Operation Market Garden, since D-Day, the Allies had enjoyed a lightning charge across Western Europe. This rapid advance had created problems for the heavily stretched supply lines. In September 1944, the deep-water port of Antwerp had been captured. With supplies now more accessible and with the Allied control of the skies, the top brass considered the war as good as won. This is a story of bitter cold, merciless fighting, instances of extreme bravery and panic, and the largest and most costly intelligence blunder since Pearl Harbor. It all took place in an inhospitable corner of Western Europe during the coldest winter in living memory, December 1944. As autumn turned to winter and the Germans put up a stubborn defense on their frontiers, all hope of ending the war by Christmas evaporated, and Allied troops dug in preparation for a final push in the early months of 1945. American GIs thinly held a 70-mile front along the edge of the Belgian Ardennes forest on the German border. Apart from a few seasoned combat veterans, most of the troops were greenhorns with little or no combat experience. The young American soldiers believed that their opponents, sometimes only a few hundred meters away, were as keen to enjoy a quiet Christmas as they were. The 70-mile line was known as the Ghost Front.
The area was known to be very quiet, and it was that way for a few nights. We had some scares. We were young. We would jump at any noise, and if you look at a snowbank long enough, it will move. And that's the type of situation you get into when you first get on the front line. You're anticipating something, and then it doesn't happen the first night, and then it doesn't happen the second night, and pretty soon you start to feel like maybe you're settling down a little bit.
I'm up here on the Siegfried Line, a series of tank traps and fortifications built by the Germans to keep out an invader. The line went from Holland in the north to Switzerland in the south. In pine forests all along the Siegfried Line, a mighty force that would outnumber the Americans by 3 to 1 was being assembled right under their nose. Hitler had devised a daring plan to dash through the thinly held lines, cross the Meuse River, and seize the port of Antwerp, cutting the Allied armies in two, with the British in the north and the Americans in the south. He hoped that this lightning action would create chaos amongst the Allied armies, enabling the Nazis to negotiate favorable peace terms. He even dared to think that the Allies would join forces with him to fight the Russians. Hitler had been inspired by Frederick the Great, who'd taken a similar course of action, and it had worked out. In all, the plan was bold and relied on a lightning success, which had been achieved in June 1940 when Hitler came crashing through the same territory with his armies.